What's up, guys? Let's talk a little bit about this myth that's circulating about modern marriage. And it's been circulating for quite some time, and it's on TV programs and commercials, and it's in literature and movies, and just about every modern piece of rubbish that you come across. And it's this love story between two people, and the man essentially morphs into a woman, and why that is gross, and why it is also going to be detrimental to your marriage or your relationship or whatever, your girlfriends you're going to marry, whatever it might be. There's a myth out there, and you guys have seen it, and most of you believe it. A lot of women believe it too, which is crazy, that guys are supposed to like share all of their feelings. And like we watch this in movies where like guys are like crying, like, oh, no, no, no. And they're complaining about their jobs. They're talking about how hard it is to raise their kids to their wives. And they're talking about their achy joints or whatever it might be. It doesn't make a difference what it is. Their worries in general. That's what they're doing. They're talking to their wives about their worries in general. And this is somehow like celebrated. Like, oh, like look at these men, like how strong they are. They're acting like women. No, dudes. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's never been like that. It's only been like that for like what, like 50 or 60 years? That's it. That whole nonsense is brand spanking new. And the ramping up of it has probably only been since the 90s, where it really got beyond out of control. Like the silly, lovesick men all over the place. Now, I'm not saying like don't love your girlfriend or love your wives. I'm not saying like don't share anything ever with them. But I'm saying like all of your concerns, the things that, trouble you, she's looking to you to not be emotional about those things. She's looking to you to lead through those things and to do it quietly without saying a freaking word. That's how it works. Now, I didn't know this. So back in the day, I made that mistake. I'd share job troubles, I'd share all this stuff. Like I thought it was right. Like I saw it in movies, saw it in modern stuff. That's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like my wife is my best friend. My girlfriend's my best friend. I share everything with her. Yeah, that's a quick recipe to her seeing you as incapable of leading. And that's probably right. Now, I'm not saying like don't consult your wife or your girlfriend, especially if like finances are tight about like a big purchase you're going to make or whatever, or something very, very serious going on. But I'm saying like you need to check all your emotions and put them somewhere else. This thing that my wife is my best friend and I run everything by her and share everything with her is just simply not good for marriage. Now, how do you know this, Rich? Yo, because I've done it. I did it that way, and then I learned that that was terribly stupid. And the second you change it and you just carry the weight as a man should, and you start to lead as a man should, everything else falls in place. Because do you know what a woman hears when you start complaining about your job or finances or whatever it might be? You start complaining about your personal woes, or you get super emotional on them, or you're angry about something. You let that emotion spill out all over into the house like it's disgusting. She smells weakness. You are incapable of leading. When you do that stuff, you make yourself, in her eyes, incapable of leading. And when you're incapable of leading, she is not going to follow. Women will do this one thing. They will almost like, in a way, like ask questions to kind of vet this stuff out too, which means you got to just shut up and stand firm as a column, like as a giant rock where waves can crash around and you are a rock in the middle of an ocean. Boats will crash upon you. You will break them up. That's something you can do very easily. Now let's take this a step further. When you are a man and you have to take on all those responsibilities, hey, I'm not saying like don't have an outlet. I'm saying that's why guys have other guys that are like them that are their friends. Not to like whine and cry about, but to talk as men do to each other about things. Because the way men treat each other in that situation with tough stuff is they give each other real advice. That's what a real friend does. You don't whine and cry to them. You don't do any of these things. They give you like straightforward advice, or they make a joke out of your situation, which lets you know like, hey, maybe this is pretty foolish. Maybe I'm being foolish. So men are supposed to have men friends. Your wife is not your best friend. Your wife is not your best friend. Your girlfriend is not your best friend. She's not your soulmate. All that stuff. Like none of that modern stuff. You are there to lead your wife, lead your family, have children, lead all of them, bring them up with rules and fences and walls and protect them. Like that's your job. And to do it without saying a word. Just doing it all by action. By taking care of everything behind the scenes that a man should do. I'm not saying you guys do the woman task around or any of that stuff. I'm saying you do what you do. You do your job. You control your emotions. You control your feelings. And that's why you have a friend. That's why you have friends. You don't need a lot. You just need one or two. And you should probably only have one or two, because guys, when you make friends with other men, you want to make friends with a man that you can trust, like somebody that, if necessary, would bail you out of jail, right? Like for real, like think about your friends that way. I want to find a friend that's so steadfast and so loyal that he'd help me out like that. He'd help me out in a big way, like in a super big way. And he'd do it without being squirrely, without questioning it. He'd just be like, yo, man, I'm your friend. I got you. So guys, start to lead in your lives. Now, the next thing is, what's the foundation to lead on, Rich? Because I think a lot of guys are confused about what's the foundation. Like, hey, I'd really like to lead. I can be less emotional, but I ain't got no foundation, man. I got no, because I came up in this world. I came up in this modern time. I got no foundation. And that's why I'm going to advise to you guys very strongly traditional Catholicism. I'm serious, man. I know that sounds like wacky to you guys, but keep doing it your secular way. It ain't working, man. Society keeps getting worse in the West, not better. Like your secular world view and all of it doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. In Catholicism, like, I mean, it's thousands and thousands of years of history, right? Because we're going from old traditions, and we got go read the catechism, go read these things, educate yourself. So that way you have principles and a backbone, stuff you don't do. You don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't do all this stuff. Like none of this Machiavellian nonsense. Like none of that. That's all garbage. That's all trash. That's ruining society. It makes everybody more narcissistic, more selfish, more prone to lying, deceiving their friends, deceiving their families, ruining their families, compromising their souls. Yeah. So think about the things that you ingest, right? The books that you read. Again, I think the best way to start, go pick up, look at, this is my Bible, man. I've read this thing cover to cover 3 times. I'll be reading it 4 times. I got the Douay Rheims version of the Holy Bible. It's like, man, you could buy this thing on Amazon right now for like $44. Get a good prayer life. read your Bible, read the catechism, have some principles. Know that your wife is not your best friend. You're there to lead her. The other thing about the Bible, and I mean, any of the teachings of the church, is it's all seriously patriarchal. And that's a good thing. Now, there's been a lot of nonsense about, oh, the patriarchy's bad. No, man, that's a bunch of lies too. Like maybe like if somebody's miscategorizing the patriarchy and they're linking it to like some sort of like machismo, yeah, that's bad, man. Like, don't be a dick. But here's the other thing too is real patriarchy means you're taking care of your family, you're taking care of your wife, you're leading them, you're carrying the burdens, you're putting fences around them, you're protecting them, you're building walls around them, you got your realm, it's your fiefdom. Like everybody that revolves around that family, like you're checking them out, they're all being vetted. And that goes for you too. Like vet yourself. Like it comes down to you. You have to be a leader worth following. Not crying, not complaining about stuff, not this modern love story. Now my wife is my best friend. Not any of that. So, hey, if you like this, subscribe, share, whatever. Like hit thumbs up. It helps the channel. It helps the algorithm, which I know nothing about. So that's it. Out.